I auditioned for the young inmate at the end of Joker 2, and spoiler alert, he gets set up to be potentially the next Joker. It's not very clear if that will still happen, but Connor Story did an amazing job, and we're just gonna show a different version of the character today. And even though I didn't get it, I feel like this is the best audition of my entire career. I'm Tristan Spohn, a professional actor most known for playing number 2 in Stranger Things, and I'm gonna be breaking down my audition for another crazy character of psychotic inmate in Joker 2, Folie.
Hey Billy, time for medication. Round
You
'em up.
heard him! Medication! Come on, let's go!
Let's go, fellas. Line up in twos.
You heard him! Get in your twos! Make sure you have the lines of twos! Excuse me, sir. Can I have a cigarette? You'll notice that I am ripping this paper up. This is just a way to show some type of pre-life. And pre-life is what has happened in the moments to the hours before this scene begun. The benefits of having a deep background, you can play with many different layers of movement. So instead of having everything live on the exact same plane, it's almost like you can fully immerse yourself in this entire world. Especially a scene like this that's happening on a prison yard. Can I have a cigarette?
Sorry, Billy. I only got like 15 left.
I have a little purple hair light. I used a green LED as my fill light. This is my way of saying I know this is Joker. Technically, they acted as though it was this untitled Warner Brothers feature film that, oh, who knows what it's gonna be for. I got a little bit of inside intel. The actor that was ultimately cast in this role was actually represented by my agent, and she was able to give me some insight into why they chose him over me. It's not that my performance wasn't as good as his, as much as it was different. He went way darker, more sadistic with the form of crazy. I went down the more innocent, but struggling to maintain control over themselves type of crazy. Mine had a vulnerable root, whereas his was all dark. I wasn't really given any character description. They just sent me the sides and said, go. Your interpretation is gonna come down to a matter of preference, not acting talent. Yeah, I know. Can I just have one?
Get lost.
Okay. Do you have a spare cigarette? I haven't had one today and I feel anxious.
Cigarettes? Cigarettes, Billy? I don't see any cigarettes. Do you?
Yeah, sir. I see cigarettes.
Those aren't cigarettes, Billy. You're mistaken.
I am?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I thought that they were.
I don't give cigarettes to crazy people, Billy.
I also, before each interaction with the guards, will step back and then step in and then step back and then step in. First, it's showing I understand that I am traveling distance. I'm making rounds around the prison yard to all of my different connects. I'm not just planted in one place going here, then here, then here, but it also allows me, the actor, to step back, shake off that interaction, and then come into the next interaction fresh.
I like that choice because, yeah, it does show that movement instead of just, it would feel more robotic.
This is Mateo. He's one of my students who won a casting competition in my online acting school, and I'm gonna be coaching him up on why my performance was so good, and then he's gonna take all of those notes and recreate this audition at the very end.
As well as kind of the way you had that realization of, oh, is that not a cigarette? It kind of shows the character isn't really in touch with, is what I'm seeing reality or, oh, I'm mistaken. And you really played with that well.
You can probably hear I have the exact same reader for all of these different guards. And so I basically set up 3 stacks of chairs at different heights with different colored post-it notes that had little sketches on them to display my relationship with each unique guard, so that I knew exactly where I was looking and how I felt about that guard with each new movement and each new approach.
I don't give cigarettes to crazy people, Billy.
I know that I have problems and I need help, but I'm not crazy. I love this choice right here because it comes from one of my mentors, EA Castillo. 100% shout out to them because this was their idea. When they call me crazy, you can see it's like I've rehearsed this. This is clearly an issue I've had in the past. This is the PR response that I've practiced. It also suggests in the past when people do this, I freak out and lose my shit. And seeing the struggle, seeing the I'm trying to maintain my composure, but I'm not able to, is always more interesting than just losing your composure immediately. And that's what makes something feel more cinematic instead of just like in your face, superficial, as you've always seen it.
What? You are crazy.
I know what you're trying to do, and it's not gonna work.
You're crazy, Billy. That's your problem. You're fucking crazy.
You're not gonna fucking get to me. I won't let you. And I'm not crazy.
Yeah, you see the asynchronization? This is also called inside-out acting, where you're not always 100% of the time displaying exactly what you're feeling, because as human animals, we constantly are hiding how we truly feel. That's what makes a scene interesting. I'm trying to laugh it off, I'm trying to smile, but you can see in my eyes I'm already losing it. And you notice how I'm constantly looking away now at this point where I'm losing control? It's because he knows if he makes that eye contact, he will do something that he regrets. You can tell he's done things he regrets to other people that have called him crazy in the past.
What makes it interesting to see as a viewer is you see that struggle of trying not to let the anger overcome you. It's happened in the past, and I can't let this overcome me. I'm not crazy. I know I'm not. It's okay. And that little moment at the end was just really, really strong.
A little bit of context. This scene is an interrogation video that will be shown to a judge at the trial. Most of the time they will tell you never look into the camera, but this is an example of an instance you can break that rule because it's having a specific effect of highlighting how I'm trying to be perceived by the judge when I look directly into the camera and how I'm trying to be perceived by the person interviewing me. So, Mateo, feel free to look directly into the lens despite being taught that that's the wrong thing to do whenever you're redoing this scene.
That sounds exciting, man. I've never done a role like that. I'm excited to give it a try myself.
Not about who I am now, not how I'm different now. That's what we should be talking about, Patty.
Okay.
You understand why you're here today? This is a competency hearing. I'm going to ask you some general questions, and you fill in the answer, okay?
Okay.
What's your name?
Billy Buford.
Do you know what you are charged with, Billy?
Yeah, for burning down that building and stealing from Ricky.
Anything else?
Yeah, they say I killed Ricky too. I love how matter of fact this was. I could have beat the audience over the head with just doing, I burned down the building. Actor being crazy, nothing new there. But what makes it feel authentically unhinged is when the character is completely unbothered while saying the most messed up stuff. Someone just be like, oh yeah, I casually burned down a building is way crazier than,
When people go through just sad things, we usually tend to kind of say it in a way where it's like, this happened with my family, yeah. We kind of say it nonchalantly because we've been through that internal struggle. That was years ago.
There's something Shaheen Azel talked about when he came and spoke to my acting lab. A lot of times when you're dumping traumatic shit on people, you tend to try to downplay it to make them comfortable. If you have that nuance and subtext, if you allow the audience to use their brain a little bit more, they can watch a movie 3, 4, 5, 6 times and pick something up new about your performance each time. And that's what makes your performance really stand the test of time. That's what makes iconic performances iconic, is every time you watch it, you just pick up something slightly different.
Anything else?
Yeah, they say I killed Ricky too. Again, another shout out to my mentor, EA Castillo, where they had this idea of there's this dark Grim Reaper presence in the corner of the room that I don't draw a crap ton of attention to. It's not like I'm, it's just a light thing that takes my attention away and makes me look even more out of it. These are just little ways that you can actually make the scene yours instead of just doing exactly what's on paper.
And do you know what could happen to you if a jury found you guilty?
Let your chair, but God will watch over me.
Okay.
See, I love that I just threw that line away. He is so out of touch with reality that he is not bothered at all by impending death.
And do you know what the judge does at a trial?
Yeah, he tells everyone what to do. See, this is one of my favorite moments because it's almost endearing. He's just directly giving the judge his sweetest smile.
This is how he feels about authority. That's what I thought, is the judge tells everyone what to do and he has like a little smile, but it still felt a little uneasy to me.
Part of the uneasiness comes from the subversion of expectations of how a normal person would react to a situation like this. It was important to me to show the contrast between how this character has a lot of darkness, but has such a light way of presenting themselves. And by the way, this is exactly what made me wrong for the role. This is why they went with Connor Story, who played a much more darker, antagonistic, sociopathic version of this character. However, this is what makes it me. They have ideas now of what they could do with me, and if they ever get a character that's endearingly crazy, they know I'm the guy to call. It is never about this role, it's about the relationship. I'm not gonna say what, but there was a role recently, I was sent straight to a veil check. A veil check basically means it's you and maybe 3, 4, 5 other actors. And that was before I even did my first audition.
If somebody told a lie about you in court, what would you do?
I would get mad at them.
Anything else?
I would tell my lawyer the truth.
What does your lawyer do if you have a trial?
He tells the jury I'm innocent.
How could he do that best?
Ooh. By asking me questions. You see how direct that was? It almost feels like I'm threatening her with my eyes. I'm very smiley to the judge. Interviewer questions me, and I'm going to put you in your place. And having me tell them that I wouldn't hurt Ricky. Intense. I liked Ricky. And then directly back at camera, as I'm trying to plead with the judge to believe me, I liked Ricky. Showing how pointed it is shows how I'm clearly trying to manipulate him.
About that last little moment, I wanted to ask, in your interpretation, do you actually like Ricky, or did you kill Ricky on purpose?
It's a great question. I'll be completely honest with you. This was like 2 years ago, so I don't remember the choice that I made. But if I were to do it today, the way I would perceive it is that he technically did it on purpose, but it was not because he hated Ricky, it's because he needed to relieve the pressure in his head. So in psychopathy, the reason psychopaths or sociopaths are compelled to do bad things is it constantly feels like there's this building pressure in your head, and the only way to relieve it is to do something bad, to steal, to kill, to set something on fire. You can think of it as like when you're going up in the airplane and your ears start to pop. However, the longer you go without doing something bad, the worse that pain, the worse the popping of the ears becomes. Mateo, what are the core takeaways that you want to implement when you are doing this scene, which all of y'all are about to see here shortly?
Yeah, so I've never done a scene like this where I'm playing a psychopath kind of character, so I'm really excited to try to dive into this because this is a completely new experience for me. Some of the core takeaways, obviously, is not beating the crazy over the head and making those bold choices. The way I'm kind of thinking of it, I want to play a sort of contrast with kind of a little bit of playful energy, but also going more dark with it, especially since you gave those notes of how the person that they cast was darker. I definitely want to try to go more sinister, show more of his violent side.
I was actually going to tell you as a fun experiment to go way more sinister than I did.
Hey, Billy. Time for medication. Round
You
'em up.
heard him! Medication! Medication! Come on, let's go!
Let's go, fellas. Line up in twos.
You heard him! Get in your twos! Make sure you have the lines of twos!
Hey, Billy, time for medication.
You heard him! Medication! Medication! Line up!
Let's go, fellas. Line up in twos.
2 at a time. Get in your twos. Excuse me, sir. Can I please have a cigarette?
Sorry, Billy. I only got like 15 left.
Yeah, I know. Can I just have one?
Get lost.
Okay. Do you have an extra cigarette? I haven't had one this morning and I feel anxious.
Cigarettes? Cigarettes, Billy? I don't see any cigarettes. Do you?
Yes. Yes, sir. I do see cigarettes.
Those aren't cigarettes, Billy. You're mistaken.
I am?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought they were. Can I please have a cigarette,
I don't
sir?
give cigarettes to crazy people, Billy.
I know I need help and I have problems, but I'm not crazy.
What? You are crazy.
I know what you're trying to do to me, but I'm not gonna let you do it to me.
You're crazy, Billy. That's your problem. You're fucking crazy.
You're not gonna fucking get to me. I won't let you. And I'm not crazy.
You understand why you're here today? This is a competency hearing. I'm going to ask you some general questions, and you fill in the answer, okay?
Okay.
You understand why you're here today? This is a competency hearing. I'm going to ask you some general questions, and you fill in the answer, okay?
Okay.
What's your name?
Billy Buford.
Do you know what you were charged with, Billy?
Yeah. Burning down that store and stealing from Ricky.
Anything else?
They say I killed Ricky too.
And do you know what could happen to you if a jury found you guilty?
Electric chair, but God will watch over me.
Okay. And do you know what the judge does at a trial?
Yeah, he tells everyone what to do.
If somebody told a lie about you in court, what would you do?
Get mad at him.
Anything else?
I'd tell my lawyer the truth.
What does your lawyer do if you have a trial?
He shows the jury I'm innocent.
How could he do that best?
Ask me questions and have me tell them I wouldn't hurt Ricky. I liked Ricky. Are we done?